Good morning and welcome to another video. In this video we'll be taking a look at how we can sort an array of numbers using the bubble sort method of sorting. So for those of you who do not know what the bubble sort method of sorting is, let us take a look at the definition of bubble sort here. Here it says that the bubble sort algorithm for sorting of n numbers, that is where n represents the maximum number of elements that can be included in an array, represented by an array A1 to n, proceeds by scanning the array from left to right. So obviously as the sorting will start, it will start from the left hand side of the array, that is from index 0, and then it will go up to the maximum index of the array in subsequent steps. So at each stage it compares the adjacent pairs of numbers at positions ai and ai plus 1. So ai represents the current position of the current index of the array that is being scanned, and ai plus 1 is the number that is right next to that particular number. So ai plus 1 represents the number that is adjacent to the current number that is being scanned. And whenever a pair of adjacent numbers is found to be out of order, then the positions of the numbers are interchanged or swapped. The algorithm repeats the process for numbers at positions ai plus 1 and ai plus 2 and so on. Thus, in the first pass, after scanning once all the numbers in the given list, the largest number will reach its destination. But the other numbers in the array may not be in order, so in each subsequent pass, one more number reaches its destination. So here we have assumed that the bubble sort method of sorting is used to sort the number of elements, array of elements in ascending order. So let us take a look at the example here. You can see the list that is to be sorted, that is the array that is to be sorted here, has n equals 6, that is 6 elements. And in the first iteration, so as you are probably, some of you might be having some idea that to sort an array of numbers using bubble sort, we require two loops. So the outer loop represents the total number of iterations that the bubble sort method might require to sort through the entire list of numbers, and that is usually equal to n minus 1, where n represents the maximum size of the array. So if the array is completely unsorted, and so in that case, that is in the worst case, the maximum time that the or the maximum number of iterations that the array is going to require to sort, that is the algorithm will require to sort through the entire list of elements, is n minus 1. That is for the worst case only. So in the inner loop, which is being represented by this counter j, the sorting is actually taking place. So in each iteration, it will scan through the entire list of elements one by one, and the largest number, because this is being sorted in ascending order, will reach the bottom of the list. So in this first iteration, as you can see, the comparison is occurring between 80 and 32, and as 80 and 32 are out of order, their positions are interchanged in the subsequent step. So in this subsequent step, we are comparing 80 and 31. Again we can see that 31 and 80 are out of order. Then again we are interchanging their positions. In the subsequent loop, we are seeing that we are comparing between 110 and 50. Before that we compared 80 and 110, and they appear to be in proper order because 80 is lower than 110, so we did not have to swap their positions. And here you can see that 110 and 50, these two elements are out of order, so here we have swapped their positions. And in the next step, 110 is being compared with 40, and then we interchange their positions. So after this we get a partially sorted list of elements. So here you can see that the list is not completely sorted. Many of the numbers are there which are still not in proper order, that is 32, 31, then 81 and so on. So to sort through the complete list, we will require a few more iterations depending on the state of the array and the numbers that are present in the array, and the maximum number of iterations through which the loop will pass is n minus 1, as I told you before. So let us take a look at the program code right here. So here I have the code for bubble sort in my program. So this is here we have a class called bubble1. It is being used to house the bubble sort program. This class will contain the bubble sort program. and customary at the beginning we have declared, as is our custom, ij, which are the counters for the loop, and n, which represents the maximum size of the array, and temp is being used as a temporary variable during the sorting phase. And scanner class is an object of the scanner class. It has been created here. We have declared the scanner class object as a static object because we want to access it from all the methods of the class without creating an object of the class. So for that very reason we have created an object of the scanner class as a static object. And here is the bubble sort method itself. You can see the array is being passed as a parameter here. So array has been passed as a parameter from the main method, which we'll take a look at shortly. And here is the maximum number of elements. So as I told you before, that the maximum number of iterations required to sort through the loop will be n minus 1. So here I is less than n minus 1. So, and here j equals to 0 is the inner loop. It is starting from 0 and it will go up to n minus 1 in every iteration. So inside the I loop, the j loop will perform, the j loop will start to execute, and after the j loop has done its thing, the I loop will progress to its next value. So if I was 0 initially, it will become 1, and then it will become 2, and so on. So now you can see that the adjacent elements are being compared. So aj is being compared to aj plus 1, and as we compare aj with aj plus 1, you can see if aj is greater than aj plus 1, that is the current element, if it is greater than the element next to it, if it has a bigger value, then we interchange their positions using this temp variable. So first we copy the value of the current element to temp, then we copy the value of the adjacent element to the current element, and then we restore the value of the current element to aj plus 1 using the temp variable. So I hope this much is clear to all of you. And here you can see that in the j loop we have used j is less than n minus 1 minus I. That is because at the end of each iteration you can see that the highest number, that is the highest element in the array, in this case you can see the highest element is 110. So this number is settling at the bottom of the array. So for that particular reason, what we are doing is we are reducing the number of iterations by 1 in every subsequent loop. So as this 110 is the highest element, so it has already settled at the bottom of the list, so we do not need to include this last element in our subsequent sorting process. So we can discount this element from the subsequent sorting steps, and we can simply compare these 5 elements in the remaining steps that are still left to be performed. So for that particular reason, every time the value of I increases by 1, the value of j decreases by 1. That is being done because the space that is being sorted inside the array, that is being decreased by 1 in every subsequent iteration of the loop. So initially we are sorting through the entire list of elements, but after one iteration is over, what happens is that this is the highest array, the highest number in the array, so it has already settled at the bottom of the list, and in the next iteration, that is iteration number 2, what will happen is that 80 will be stored at the second last position, that is the last part 1 position. So 80 will be pasted to the 80 will be transferred to the place where currently we are having 40. So 80 will be placed over here. So what is happening is that in every iteration, as it is being sorted in this bubble sort algorithm is used to sort the list of elements in ascending order, the highest number is settling at the bottom of the list, and that is why we are decreasing the area that is being sorted, that is this number of elements that we are sorting through in the array, by 1 in every subsequent step, because as this part is already sorted, so this is a partially sorted list. This list representing of the highest number, this is actually already sorted. This number's position will not change because this is the highest number. So for that particular reason, this number will be excluded from the subsequent sorting steps that are still left to be performed, and for that reason we are doing this, j equals to n minus 1 minus I. It essentially means that as the value of I increases in every step, the number of comparisons inside the j loop decrease by 1, because the highest number is settling at the bottom of the list. Alright, so let me run the program, or okay, let me take a look at the remaining functions in the array. So here we have the input array. Input array, it is pretty much a self-explanatory function. Input array is being used to accept all the numbers in the array, and then we have another function called the print sorted array, which is being used to print the sorted numbers in the array. That is the print the array after the sorting is completed. So in the main method, what we are doing is we are creating an object of the class bubble1, then we are creating an array of numbers. Here you can see the size of the array is 20, and then we are entering the length of the array, that is the number of elements we want to input in the array. So just because the size of the array is 20, it doesn't necessarily mean that in every iteration we will be entering 20 numbers. So it may happen that we may want to do the sorting with only 4 or 5 numbers and so on. So for that reason we are using the n variable to control the number of elements that we can enter into the array in every time we run the program. So object.input array is being used to input the elements in the array, and then we invoke the bubble sort function by using obj.bubble underscore sort, and the array is being used, the array is actually passed as a parameter, and this parameter is passed over here, and n is also passed as a parameter. N represents the total number of elements that are present in the array, and print sorted array, that is also obvious that it is being used to print the number of elements that have been sorted, or print the array after it has been sorted. So let me run the program once. So enter the length of the array, let me take it as 6 to decrease our task, to decrease our workload. We are entering 6 numbers. So let me enter it in a completely unsorted manner: 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. So here you can see that the list of numbers have been sorted. Elements in the array after sorting are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Alright, so that is all there is to show in this program. I hope all of you have understood the code. So just go through this this video once again if you haven't understood it in the first time you view it. Some of you may not understand this program the first time you view it, that is the first time you see this video. For that I recommend them to watch this video at least 1 or 2 more times, and by then I hope everything will be clear to you. So that is all for this video, and I'll see you all in my next video. Thank you everybody.